Hey guys, how are you all today? Doing a brand new review. This one is going to be for Terminator Genisys. So Terminator Genisys is one that came out this year, 2015, and stars Emilia Clarke, Jai Courtney, Jason Clarke, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yes, Arnold Schwarzenegger returned for the fifth installment after not appearing in the third or fourth. He had a minor role in the fourth, very, very minor though. You saw him for about 30 seconds. But for this one, he's in the entire thing, or not the entire thing, but he's a main character in this one, not just an extra. For this film, there are a lot of good things, there are a lot of bad things. I'm going to start with the good things, like I did with the Jurassic World. A lot of the good things, obviously, the visual effects were absolutely stunning in this. How they did Arnold Schwarzenegger, you saw in the trailer how they made him look old again. By the way, this is a spoiler-free review. I'm only going to talk about scenes that were in the trailer. So if I say a scene, it was in the trailer. Um, but they made him look young again. I thought that was really well done because, as you saw in the trailer, there's a bit where the old Arnold Schwarzenegger approaches the young one, and he's like, "I've been waiting for you." That was really well done. I found that the rest of the visual effects were great. A lot of explosions, a lot of lasers flying everywhere. Great opening scene. Not gonna ruin what that is because that is a massive plot point in the beginning. But just after the opening scene, we see Kyle Reese and John Connor. We do see them in the opening scene, but it continues with them. And the plot, there are a lot of plot things in here. A lot of people worried about the trailer ruining the movie or showing too much. It really didn't. It really didn't show a lot of the movie. It really showed nothing of the movie, I found. It didn't show enough. The storyline that you get from the trailer isn't the storyline that we get today when you see the entire movie. You literally see the first half of the movie or the first quarter of the movie in the trailer. You don't see the rest of what happens. The rest of the movie plotline is so different to what is in the trailer. It is so different. You like don't even understand it till you see the film. But I'm not going to talk about story because it will ruin it. It was a good surprise to see what happens with the story. Acting, so as I said, you had Emilia Clarke, Jason Clarke, who have no relation, and you also had Jai Courtney. And the reason they don't have any relation, Jason Clarke and Emilia Clarke, is because Emilia Clarke is British and Jason Clarke is Australian. So, but yeah, and you also had Arnold Schwarzenegger in there. I found everyone did a great job. I found Emilia Clarke did a good job as Sarah Connor, still not better than Linda Hamilton. But she still did a great job, Sarah Connor, no doubt about that. I found she fit the part pretty decently. Not amazingly, but, it was good enough for the two sequels that they're making after Genisys. And that's the next thing I'm going to talk about, is the two sequels that they are making. One which will be released on May 19th, 2017, and the last sequel to be made on June 29th, 2018. Too bad we're not going to see them, because Judgment Day is in 2017, so if it goes ahead, we're not going to see the sequels. But the basic synopsis of this film is that, as I was saying before, John Connor sends Kyle Reese back to 1984. They're in the year 2029. Sends back to 1984. They do make another stop in another year, but I'm not going to spoil that because that is a part of the huge plot twist of what's happening. I found, so I'm just looking at my notes, I found that, especially the beginning after, how you saw in the trailer how they sent Kyle Reese back to 1984, I found that after we got back to 1984, they were doing a shot-for-shot remake of the first one, like, two scenes, at least two or three scenes were shot-for-shot from the original. I found that was amazing, because they had the store scene where you saw how that the liquid aluminium man, or liquid nitrogen. I'm sorry, I always call him aluminium man. I know it's not him. He's liquid nitrogen man, shapeshifter. But you saw in the trailer where Emilia Clarke drove the truck through the store, and she's like, "Come with me if you want to live, soldier." That scene, other than the truck going through the store, was a shot-for-shot scene from the original where he goes and he gets the coat and he gets the shoe. And I was sitting with my friend, I'm like, oh my god, this is like watching the original in the theatre again. It really brought me back to the original one, and I think that Jai Courtney did a great job as Kyle Reese, and he really did look like the original Carl Reese, not John Connor, Carl Reese, thought he did a great job as Carl Reese, and same with Jason Clarke doing a great job with John Connor. There are sort of good things, great visual, great acting, great story, all that. Loved it. Now onto a couple bad things. There were a lot of plot holes in here, and a lot of the good and bads are similar to Jurassic World with me. There were a lot of plot holes in this. There were a part where they were about halfway through the film. It's not a spoiler, but halfway through the film, they were trying to remake. They were trying to reboot the time machine to sort of for the Skynet. But halfway through the film, one of the scientists is like, "The machine's not ready to be used yet." And then at the end of the film, they kind of use it for something, and I'm just like, you fucking idiots! Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger is getting way too fucking old for this role. I'm sorry. There was a massive fuck. I'm just reading this quickly because I wrote all my notes last night because I saw the film last night. There was a point where they make a pit stop in 2017 year, and there was a massive loophole where John Connor should be born already. He should already be 10 or 12 or 14 or 15, whatever. Because in 2029, he's an adult. He's 20, 30, 40 years old. And there's no second John Connor. There's a second Carl Reese when they go into 2017 because they make a pit stop in 2017. There's a second Carl Reese who's like, 12, 14. And John, he wasn't there. And I don't understand. Because they were both fighting at the start in 2029. So should John already be born? That's where it starts confusing the timelines, because they fuck up all the timelines in the movie, and I'm not going to explain how, because that's one of the plot holes. They fuck up all the timelines. That's a reason to see this film, because everything from the first four, or at least the first two if you're not a fan of the third and fourth, they fuck up all the timelines. They literally go, yeah, we're going to scrap everything, and it's technically like a new Terminator film. They're remaking it. That's what I found with this film. A lot of people are like, no, it's good as the original. Second, I'm like, well, I'm not seeing it as another Terminator film. I'm seeing this as a brand new trilogy. They haven't done the first four. This is a new one, and it worked for me. It worked like the Jurassic World. I don't relate these reboots or anything to the original franchise. I look at them as a whole new franchise, and it works for me. I like them. Same with Jurassic World. If you haven't seen my review, link down below. But I find these as a new franchise, not a sequel. Because if I find them as a sequel, I know I will hate them, or at least dislike them. Terminator Genisys, I had my parts where I started relating them back to the first and second. I'm like, oh my god, that's from the first, that's from the second. I did, but however, I still found the whole movie as a standalone movie with robots in it, and it worked. I absolutely loved it. Even if I related it to the series, I still loved it. It was a great movie. If you haven't seen it, check it out when it comes out. I got an advanced screening premiere last night on the 29th of June, so I got 2 days early. So I was excited for that. It was great. I saw it in 3D. 3D kind of works. 2D works as well, with a lot of parts where I had to take off my glasses because the 3D glasses hurt my face. But definitely worth seeing. It's not really a big thing for 3D. Nothing really jumps out at you. There was a couple of scenes that were really good. There was a Terminator head that gets kicked towards the screen, and one other, a couple little things, but it's really rare when you get it. So if you like 3D, go see it. If you're not a big fan of it, I wouldn't recommend it, but it's still a good either way if you want to see it in 2D or 3D. It's up to you. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, it helps. Leave me down a comment. Are you excited to see Terminator? Have you seen it? What are your thoughts? I'd love to hear them. And thank you guys so much for watching. As I said, like, comment, subscribe, share. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys later.